Well, welcome back to the Humble Word program. My name is Anthony, and whether you are a returning subscriber or this is your very first time here, thank you so much for spending just a few moments of your time with me. Now, quickly, if you find the teaching on this channel to be beneficial, would you consider subscribing and clicking the notification bell, and so that you too might be encouraged to make this channel more visible to more people, take just a half a second and click the like button. Believe me, it really helps. In our last visit, we looked at Ephesians 6, verses 10 and 12. We simply skipped over verse 11. It wasn't my intention, but God knew what he was doing. So, going back to chapter 6 of Ephesians, let's look now at verse 10 and read down through verse 11. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. How many of you are old enough to remember waking up on a Saturday morning so that you could go downstairs or somewhere to the TV to watch Saturday morning cartoons? Yeah, I think the world was a much better place back then. And maybe you remember watching Wile Coyote try to catch the Roadrunner. Well, I'm going to make a confession. I used to watch that cartoon every week. But every once in a while, just every now and then, I kind of wish the coyote would catch the Roadrunner. I mean, seriously. After a while, the coyote was just the underdog, and the Roadrunner was little more than some obnoxious brat, you know. Yet episode after episode, the coyote would order some new surefire product from Acme that was guaranteed to help him catch the Roadrunner, only to be foiled every time by his own miscalculations or, the Roadrunner's speed. But did you ever wonder where the name Wile Coyote came from? If you didn't know already, it came from the word we see in verse 11, the wiles of the devil. Now, of course, wiles is the English translation of the original Greek word methodeia. But before we look at the Greek word, what is the definition of wile, the noun? The concise Oxford English Dictionary defines a wile as a devious or cunning strategy. When used as a verb, it means to lure or entice. And that's exactly what we saw time after time with a coyote, right? But the original Greek word sheds even more light on this. Like I mentioned a second ago, it's methodeia, the word from which we get our English word method. It means to lie in wait. It's a word used to describe deceit and trickery. So do you get the idea? The wiles of the devil are his schemes, his methods to trick and to deceive and lure us into traps which he has hidden along the way. Just a few other things, and we'll be done for the day. But first, notice that the wiles of the devil, the methods of the devil, are not inexhaustible. In other words, Satan does not have an unlimited amount of Acme deliveries at his disposal. He has a finite arsenal of tricks up his sleeve. Now, don't misunderstand. There could be a near infinite amount of combinations to his tricks, but in reality, he doesn't need too many traps. He's been tracking down humans for thousands of years and already knows the schemes that bring the most success. He may flip the bait this way and then flip the bait that way, but it's still the same bait. Most of the fish bite at some point. The good news is that since humans are most likely to fall prey to certain temptations, we can learn to avoid them when we see them. I mean, if you were a fish and all of a sudden you saw an earthworm floating in front of your face, should you not know what it was, you might think, oh, that looks tasty, and then chomp down on a sharp hook. But you want to know what's crazy? You can catch a fish with a worm on a hook, release the fish, and then catch that same fish again with the same kind of bait on the same hook. But before we laugh at the stupidity of the hooked fish, we do the same thing. You know it's wrong, but you keep going back to the same pet sin. Each time taking the bait, like maybe this time there will be no hook. Yeah, because earthworms just naturally swim in the water, right? And one more thing, and then I promise I'm done. Remember how we talked about wrestle in the last video? How that most often the battles we fight are up close and personal? Well, the same thing is true with the schemes of the devil. Wile E. Coyote never tried to trap a bunch of roadrunners, did he? Only one at a time. And when it comes to you, there's only one of you. There's only one of me. So what traps you might not work with me, and vice versa. It's so important for us to be strong in the Lord and the power of His might and put on each piece of the whole armor of God, because these are the only defenses we have which will protect us from the devil's schemes, no matter what they are. And what should really encourage us is that when we stick together as believers, as a church, we can help each other put on that armor. We can be there to notice when a piece is missing. And although the devil may have a lot of different weapons, all we need to focus on are a few key pieces of armor our commander-in-chief has given us. I mean, face it, in reality, spiritual warfare should not be as difficult or deadly as it so often is. It's just that we forget who we're fighting. We think we're smarter and faster than the roadrunner. And that too many pieces of armor just slow us down and cramp our style. There's really no reason for the devil to win as often as he does. Well, that's all for today. If something I said today spoke to you, I'd love to hear about it. And if you have any other comments, please share them in the comment section. I will read them. And next time we will look more at who we fight in this spiritual conflict. And here's a hint, it's not supposed to be each other. Till then, pray for each other, encourage each other, and we will meet again real soon right here